Here are 20 pro tips to help you get more DPS in Anime Rising. The first one is when you are doing your quest and you are trying to get to max world, only go for the common kills for your quest. That way you can speedrun the quest as fast as possible. And if you spend too much time trying to get epic and legendary units in the beginning, there's a chance you might not even get to arise them and you're just wasting your time instead of beating your quest as fast as possible. Tip number 2 is to make sure you do your castles every day. There are different castles depending on what day it is. Every day you can do this first castle, and on certain days you can do certain castles. However, on weekends you can do all of the castles, so I would utilize them. From castles you get a lot of mythic fragments, which are very nice in order to get mythic units, as well as other fragments to help you get, legendary units, epic units, and much more. And you also get a lot of gems from tower, so do your tower. Number 3 is your daily income. This is the best way to progress in this game. You get 10 of these fast claims a day. You get 2 for free. If you don't know how this works, when you spend your diamonds on fast claim, you get 2 hours worth of rewards instantly. So every hour when you play the game, you get this amount you see right here for yourself. And when you fast claim, you get that doubled instantly. And like I said, you get 10 of these a day. And the best way to use this is when you have the maximum boost possible. If you're free to play and you don't have VIP, that will be 20% when you have 5 friends added. So unless you have 20% boost or 40%, I would not fast claim. And yeah, that is one of the best ways to progress in this game. Tip number 5, like I just said, is to obviously play with friends in your server. You want to have at least 5 people added in your server at all times, not only for the fast claim, but also for the friends, but also for these friends market. As you can see, by just having people added, you get hearts over time that you can use to spend things on the market, such as tokens, movement speed, chest. Well, the chest is free, but you get really good stuff from the market. Tip number 5 is to join our Discord, because right now there is a VIP giveaway going on right now, and VIP is really strong. If you don't know, VIP gives you a bigger auto rise radius, increases your chance of mythical spawns, and you also get obviously extra income. Instead of 10%, this should actually be 20. The next tip I have for you guys is to reroll quirks on all of your legendary or epic units and above. Instead of prioritizing one unit to try to get the best stats like SS, what I would do is once you have an epic unit, I would reroll a quirk on each of these slots. No matter how bad it is, even if it's an F, do not reroll that. Just reroll on every single slot, because the more you have, the better it is. Tip number 7 for you guys is to utilize the classes in the game in order to get the maximum DPS. If you don't know, you can press this question mark over here and it tells you all about the classes. You want to have a mix of these classes for your team. If you have a fire team, a water team, or whatever team you have, you want to make sure you have a good balance of these. That way you have the maximum DPS possible. Tip number 7 is to utilize your unit's ability. You have this auto ability over here. Basically, if you are struggling, you want to turn that off. And when you are fighting enemies, you want to use these abilities individually depending on, your units. For example, we know my Ego Reaper is a assassin and my Madara is a mage. Mages have more burst damage, so if you are facing an enemy with some shield, as soon as the shield goes down, you want to use your mages. That way they do more damage versus using their ability when the shield is up. Tip number 9 is a simple one, but it is to use your enemy elements to your advantage. If you don't know, you do 30 times more damage when you have an advantage, and you do about 30% less damage when you have a disadvantage. So when you're attacking a really difficult boss, that is fire example, don't go in with like ice. Obviously, go in with water. That way you have, extra damage. That'll help you beat it easier. Tip number 10 is once you start progressing, you want to make sure you go back to all of these maps and check for legendary and mythic units that might spawn. It's a really quick way to do that by pressing travel here and going on different zones. And all you have to do is zoom out a little bit and you'll be able to see a big unit if it's a mythic. And especially if it's a mythic, you want to make sure you get every mythic in the game, or at least try to get every mythic in the game. That way you can get essence for later on, and you want to make sure you do that for every single world, because the more mythics you have, the stronger your team will be, because you want a wide variety of classes and elements for your team. Tip number 11 for you guys is to ascend your units as you go. In the new server update 1.03, you no longer require gold to ascend them. So once you have enough epic, or once you have enough essence and souls, I would recommend upgrading them, and I believe when you upgrade them or ascend them, they get to keep all of their quirks. So if you have a epic with some quirks and you ascend it, it will obviously keep all that. So as you can ascend them because it no longer costs coins. Tip number 12 is a big one. Every mythic in the game has a thing called a quirk class, which is on the last slot. If you reroll, if you get a quirk class, you can check it out. You can check out what it does normally over here. Obviously, attack speed is self-explanatory. However, there's things like persistence in the game, which will tell you what you do. And basically, if you come over here, it tells you every nth skill does a bonus damage. So it's important to know what kind of skill you have on your mythic units. Tip number 13 is all about faction bonus. If you played Anime Champions, you might remember a thing called Harmony, and faction bonus is exactly the same thing. If you hover over here, it tells you how to get the faction bonus, and yeah, it's very simple. And if you manage to get light and dark units, such as my Gyu over here, they are wild cards that will count towards, whatever you need for that fulfillment. So you can see right now I have a 30% faction bonus because I have 3 light units as well as a fire unit, which is not doing anything. However, if I unequip my Zenitsu and put another dark unit down, it goes up to 50% because I have a full team now of either dark or light and only 1 fire, which is being counted as wild card thanks to the dark and light units. So faction bonuses are very important in the game, and if you can, try to have it maximized in order to have the most amount of damage. The next tip is all about dungeons. You have your daily revive scrolls for dungeons as well as the ones you can buy from shop, and I would not use this unless you have saved up quite a bit. So what you want to do is save up 10, 20 or however many you want, and then start farming dungeons with a Arise luck boost as well as a shiny luck boost for those mythics. That way you are maximizing your dungeons and your items. Tip number 15 is about AFKing. So if you are AFKing the game and you want to get extra resources, the best way to do so is find the area you want to AFK, and instead of just AFKing one unit over here, if you have the VIP, you want to go in the middle of this so you can get the maximum amount of essence, coins, and everything. But if you don't have VIP and you have a much smaller radius, the best thing you can do is find an area with 2 or 3 really close units like this, and if you have like tiny tasks, you can just tiny task, attacking it, reviving it, going up here, attacking it, reviving it, and just coming back and forth and making sure it's good. Tip number 16 is about your potions. Now you might have some potions in the game, for your income. It might say get 30 minutes of income instantly, and basically what that means is when you pop your potions, you get this, you get these resources over here. If it says get 1 hour, you will get the full hour worth of resources. If it says 30 minutes, you will get half of this. The best way to use that is, like I said before, when you have, I believe, a max amount of bonus. But that way you have, when you're using the potions, you get the maximum resources, because why would you want less when you can get more? Tip number 17 is about using your gems carefully. Now you might be like, yes, I have 2 million gems, but I did not buy those gems. Shout out to BMG Tormentor for those gems. But instead of summoning on this banner over here with these terrible rates, well, these are better than before, but I would not recommend spending your gems over here. The best way to spend your gems in this game is, like I said, with the fast class, with the fast claim, because every time you claim it, you get 10 of these a day. It will cost more and more gems, so I would highly recommend saving your gems for these fast claims. Tip number 17 goes back to the previous one, but if you manage to get light and dark unit from these summons, you should use them in a way where you can maximize your faction bonus, because light and dark units are an easy way to increase your DPS really quickly. Tip number 19 is all about dungeons. When you are farming dungeons, like I said earlier, you want to make sure you have a lot of rerolls, revive scrolls. That way you are not wasting time, and you have the appropriate potions needed in order to have the highest chance of successfully arising the boss. Now for the last tip, it's also about the dungeons, but you guys can see there are different types of dungeons. There's burst as well as horde, and the horde dungeons are a little bit more difficult because they have more enemies that spawn versus burst dungeon. you get the boss instantly. It's much quicker to kill. When you have the burst dungeon, it doesn't really matter. You can just attack the boss and then kill the enemies. For the burst dungeons, the boss is already in the middle and you can just kill the boss and then move on with your day. However, for the horde dungeons, there will be a lot more enemies around the map. And if you have a party of 4, instead of just standing in the middle, the best way to actually do it is, you know, split up in the corners. That way you are attacking the enemies faster, because the auto attack path is kind of wonky and sometimes you waste a lot of time going from enemy to enemy. But if you are split up, that is the best way and the fastest way to clear these dungeons. That's all the tips I have for you guys. Hopefully you learned something good that will help your journey, and hopefully it will help you increase your DPS in Anime Rising. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Peace.